My first few scores were for the money. I mean, I needed money when I was young, and but after that, they slowly but surely became just adrenaline rushes.
What made you realize that you had the skill to be able to get into these safes?
I never stole much or anything when I was a child. I got started like on a whim. After high school, I ran into a guy who told me about a safe that was, he was working at a miniature golf course on a driving range. And I had no knowledge then of how to crack a safe open. So I spent 2 hours inside of this place after casing it for a while, trying to bang the safe open, and it didn't work. Then I tried to haul it away, and it took me all night to get it out of there. I finally got it in my car. I couldn't get it in the trunk. I back over the trunk, so I had to take the seat out, and I rode home sitting on the safe. The next day, I cut it open with an acetylene torch.
I'm a guest in this home, and I have a safe in my room because I have a lot of watches, and I always like to have a lot.
I know, I'm already trying to picture it.
Well, I bought a little safe because I have a lot of cash, and I always carry it. I don't want to leave it out, and I don't know there's a lot of guests.
I mean, you are just a fountain of information here.
And it was about 100 pounds, maybe, not even. Would you bother breaking into it here, or would you take it with you?
It depends on how easy it was to take it. I'd probably take it.
Just take it.
You know, I
put
mean,
it in the
so
car.
much faster. Yeah, it's so much faster to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have it secured in some way?
No, actually no.
I'd probably just take it.
But after today, I'm moving it. I'm going to hide it.
Well, it's going to be too late after today.
You've hit a lot of big names. Who are some of the people just that you've taken?
Robert Goulet, Phyllis Diller a couple times. I tried to get Elizabeth Taylor, but I never could get her to cooperate with me. I don't know, Bob Hope, I tried, but Bob was a little too smart for me. He never took much with him.
How did you manage to get into these buildings, stay unnoticed, you know, carry all this equipment, get out of the building with the safe?
Everyone was different. I mean, usually I could find a flaw in their security system someplace. And that's what sometimes took me a great deal of time. My plan was to get in and get out. And if things went wrong, I always had a bunch of escape routes. I didn't want to confront anybody.
And the one time it happened, it was an accident. There was somebody sleeping, and did you just leave, or did you continue with the robbery? When you found the woman unconscious on the...
I continued with the robbery. I was going to leave, and I thought, well, hell, I've done it this far. I mean, yeah, it was a very, very lucrative robbery, too.
Is there any reality to a perfect heist?
There's always a risk, and that's what the adrenaline rush is.
When you decided to rip off the mob, I mean, that was really a risky, because now your life, you know, before the risk is going to jail, but now it's your life.
With the mob, it was, you know, ending up on the bottom of Lake Erie.
What made you go that next step?
I knew there was a lot of money there, and I figured I could get away with it. You know, when you are in your 20s, I mean, you're indestructible. You think you can do anything. I must have carried in 500 pounds worth of tools into their office, which I had to cut a hole through the wall in an adjoining room to get into because it was an alarm. And after hauling all of these tools up there in the middle of the night, the safe was open, so I never got to test my skills.
Now, when you pulled off your first heist, were you a married man?
Yes, I was.
You were?
Yes.
And your wife had no idea?
No, my wife had no idea all the way along.
You put a lot at risk. I mean, did you have children?
Yes, I had 2 children at the time.
And if their daddy went away to jail, it was going
to be a very devastating thing. But you know, you always think you're going to get away with it. It's part of the adrenaline rush. I mean, you're risking your freedom, you're risking your life.
That's why you kind of overlook the consequences.
Yeah,
you
do.
And you always think you can get away with it.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, if you don't think you can get away with it, then you're not going to do it.
Right, right. Was it the addiction of the chance of getting caught?
I loved the adrenaline rush. I really enjoyed it, and it was like the planning was part of it, putting the puzzle together was part of it, and I became addicted, slowly but surely.
Was there something that happened that made you stop?
That made me stop? No. You know, even when I got out of prison, I did 3.5 years in prison, and even when I got out, I thought one more to try to recoup some of my losses.
What about your conscience? What about guilt? What about I mean...
My conscience was not a big problem at that time. I think as I've gotten older, my conscience bothers me a little more.
Yeah.
And I say a little more because in some cases it doesn't bother me at all.
At the end of the day, looking back now, reflecting back, was it all worth it?
You know, numerous people have asked me that, and I really, was it all worth it? Monetarily, no. If I would have stayed in the real estate business, I would have done much better.
It's definitely an interesting life, to say the least, you know.
It's a different life.
It's a different life.
It's cost me a lot of money, a lot of heartache, a lot of time, a lot of freedom, and it's cost me a nice wife and family.
Do you think about it anymore?
I think about it all the time. I always think about it.
What would it take to bring you back, to get you to do one last job? What would it take?
I don't know.
If I gave you a list, because I know a lot of people in Hollywood, of maybe 20 or so people that had a lot of jewels, can you take their jewels and split it with me 50-50? Would that be cool?
Wait a minute. I think it'd be more like 75-25.
Okay, that's it.
I'm the one that's taking the chance.
All right, you got a deal.
I certainly would not make the same mistakes again, but would I take the same chances? I might.